Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your Mitzi, and this is Mitzi. Let's think about it. Today, we are thinking about, do we actually die? That is a question that thousands to millions to billions of individuals are thinking about. And thankfully, here I have Lindsay who's going to help us think about this, possibly in another way, because we think about these things silently. Now it is time to speak about it with others and really think about it together because maybe we are aligned with the same thoughts. Maybe. I don't know. Let's see, right? Because it is an interesting topic. So, Lindsay, thank you so much for coming onto my show and sharing your time and perspective with me. Let's go ahead and dive right in. What does death make you think about?
Thank you for having me. So I'm going to cut to the end immediately and say that I don't even use that word anymore.
Ooh.
So that's part of the reason I thought that would be a good question to pose. I've actually completely shifted the vernacular that I use. I don't use the words death and dying anymore because I now have seen that it's really just a transition, that our soul always remains. So our physical body might disappear, but that's it. So that our
Yeah.
and our soul always remains.
I like that. I like that a lot. So it's more in a line of kind of like reincarnation. You know what I mean? You just move on in a different vessel, in a different time, in a different frame that you take the memories with you, you take the feelings with you. And I think that's the reason why some people don't realize or can't connect a certain phobia to something because I believe in their past life that it's something that triggers them. You know what I mean?
I was just talking to somebody about this like within the last week. So I have a fear of heights, and it was triggered by something here in the physical world, but it was a relatively minor thing. So I know it's something that I've carried with me from past life experiences. I 100% agree with you.
Yeah, because I think me is sound, sudden sound and loud sound for me, it puts me in a complete like a complete panic where I'm just like ready to
Nervous,
go
totally
instant. Yeah,
dysregulated.
instantly. And I'm just like, I have no reason to feel like this. You know what I mean? Like I've never truly been in a situation in this present now to have that
Right,
type of fear. But then
right.
in my past, and then that's I can't I had to ask myself that question. And then my spirit kind of like gave it to me. It's like it's because it's not from this now. It's from a previous before. And it's like I truly believe sometimes people don't recognize that. And it would be an interesting way to just have more peace when it comes to that to the concept of death is
Right.
having this concept of just this transitioning that you're talking about. Am I
100%.
right?
It is so, so healing. So much just came up for me in what you just said, and some of it I'll come back to. But and don't let me forget, I want to talk about like the positive essence that we can carry with us from our past lives as well. But you're 100% right. And I think at the core of it, the most healing aspect of recognizing that our souls continue is the fact that when we think about our loved ones, we can hold duality. We can hold the fact that we're sad about the fact they're not physically here, but we can feel so much reverence and joy for the fact that they are here helping us. And in some ways, and this is a truth that I have like aligned with now since my husband passed in 2020, but like knowing that he's actually more present with me and more able to surround me with love and help me now that he's physically not here than when he was physically here. And when we can create that shift for ourselves, and it took a lot of work to get there. And I'm not saying that I don't have times where I'm deep in grief because that just that doesn't go away. We're always going to mourn the physical loss,
Yeah.
but we can shift so much when we start to think about it from that perspective and think about the endless possibilities that the people that we love can create for us, the magic they can create for us from the other side. And it's
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
It is. It is a beautiful thing. And I think I'm glad that you brought up I'm glad that you brought up the fact that you still are dealing with grief because I think the connection that you said that we still attach ourselves to the physical beings of our now, that is something that is undeniable. You know what I mean? And I think that's something that people get stuck on, that they can't concept anything further because it's like, but he's gone, but they're gone. I can't see them. I can't touch them. You know what I mean? And it's a hard thing. You know what I mean? No one can discredit that from you. But when you allow yourself to think in this concept of this way, it is truly a positive, lifting feeling because you know, one, you're never really alone.
Yeah.
Two, you're going to make it through because they're still there watching you, observing you, loving you. It's
Yeah.
exactly supporting you. And it's an interesting thing because it gives you this sense of validation, you know what I mean, as a human being. Because if you did right and you lived morally, then you know morally what's coming, what's around you is going to be good and sensible, you know what I mean? But it's like if you live an immoral life and you live an evil, selfish, greedy life, like it's gonna come back around, you know what I mean? And it lingers and it's interesting to think about that. But anyways, what are some positive essence of bringing what you've known from the past into your future, into this now that you're in?
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to pause 1 second and say that if you're struggling to conceptualize the limitlessness of your soul partners, your people on the other side, even your angelic support team, your guides, think about the fact, I like to think about this because to me, it puts it in perspective. Think about the fact that we are spinning on the globe, like rotating around in the universe. And if that doesn't tell you like the limitless possibilities of what can be, like take things out of the material realm, I don't know what does. So I feel like when we get too in our like egoic brains, our human brains, like it can be a struggle for us to conceptualize and we feel limited by our 3D reality. But if you want to really truly tap into the essence of all that can be and all that is with your connection with your loved ones on the other side, I like to remind myself about that. It's like, how is that happening? I mean, I know like the science behind it, but it is like truly a miracle. And so you tap into that same type of energy and vision for your connection with your loved ones on the other side. To me personally, that kind of helps put everything in perspective. It's like, I don't know how this is, but I know it's magic and I know it's available to me. And so I can tap more into that type of energy versus like feeling restricted or overwhelmed by this 3D reality.
Yeah. I mean, I don't use the word magic because I feel like there's a taboo against it,
There
but I use
is,
the
I
word.
like, I use it in a very like
I
positive and
know. Yeah,
way.
I
Right.
get you. I get you. But if the old school, old mentality was listening and they're like, oh my goodness, what are they talking about? And then they'll shut it down. But it's like we got to remember, like, it's natural. It's
Yeah.
natural. What comes natural? What happens natural without even understanding the concept around it? That is something that is, like you said, magical because it's natural. Like, what? This is just naturally happening when you're able to silence yourself and connect within yourself. It is truly a natural happening where it's just like, I didn't know this was possible. I didn't know this
Exactly.
was real. And that's the beauty of just knowing that one, we are not alone in this life. Two, what you do matters. And three, how you connect with yourself is something amazing. And when you're able to connect with yourself on all of the levels, I mean, think about it. Like you said, the earth is rotating around in this universe with so many other universes and galaxies. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
The infiniteness of it all. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Exactly.
just like you could really get lost in that thought. So it's just like you can, if you feel alone, it's a hard thing to separate because you could feel alone emotionally and you could feel alone physically. You know what I mean? So it's just like you could be a place in emotion. So it's like we need to start learning how to separate that or identify it and identify where that loneliness is coming from, because when we are able to, then we are able to have a better processing of grief. You know what I mean? Because grief is hard and it's people are going to handle it differently. But it's like this process of knowing that you're never actually going to die. I feel like that's just a sense of peace. You know what I mean? That's just a sense of peace in my mind.
100%. You can release the attachment to like the outcome or what you think, how you think things should have been or could have been,
Oh
and
yeah,
just
that
trust in.
guilt.
Yes, yes, yeah, and just trust in what is meant for you, what's surrounding you. So I will now go back to the past life piece. I would say that in addition to like fears that you might have that are kind of unwarranted in this physical world, and you're not really understanding why they have happened for you. In addition to that, like things might really resonate with you in a positive way that you don't really understand either. You might feel drawn to places or experiences that you don't have any like reference for in this life. I mean, that was something that I felt very deeply. I've always been drawn to the mountains, to the west. And when I've done a few regressions, and sure enough, like I had a ranch in the middle of like, so a lot of that validation, like, but things that you're drawn to, things that you naturally feel like in alignment with, can also be from past lives.
Yeah, and that's a very valid point. Because I think that's when a lot of people feel that sense of peace and that sense of joy and true fulfillment when they're finally doing something that they know that they've been called to do or that they've been yearning to do, but
Right.
it makes sense to nobody else. Like
Yes.
that's the perfect piece to the puzzle. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's something that in your past life you've always done. And if you don't do it even in this now, it doesn't feel right. You feel
Yes.
out of place. You feel discombobulated. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
certain people were born into to be a soldiers or born to be an artist or born to be
Yes.
musicians. You know what I mean? They were born into this life and you can't sometimes escape it. And that's the reason why depression comes in because all of this sadness because you're repressing it. You're basically pushing it away as if it's not supposed to be there. But it's like
Yeah.
the moment you embrace all that you are and be true, authentically you, and you can align yourself as one. Oh my goodness, I just had like you know what I mean? The saying of I feel like I'm fighting a battle within ourselves and within myself. Sometimes I feel like it's just because we won't accept the fact of possibly this concept of our past lives and how it's trying to help us, but we
Yeah.
won't allow it to help us because we are so focused on whatever that's in front of us. Am I right?
Right. Well, and I think too, like when you meet somebody and you just have this like instant connection. I mean, it could be a friend, it could be a relationship, but like there's definitely instant soul recognition from past lives as well. And I think it's why, we can have that instant kind of connection that's unexplainable here in the physical world. Like it's just this deeper knowingness. And sometimes you might even know things about somebody that in this physical reality you shouldn't know, but you already
Yeah.
know.
Yes.
Tapping into that like soul connection, they're part of your soul family. I've had that experience so many times in my life.
Oh, absolutely. I remember one time, I was talking to somebody and everything was fine until something switched in his eyes. And I was like, I know you from somewhere, but I don't know you, but I know you. And that's when I was just like, oh, in my heart, I was just like sunken. I was just like, yeah, this conversation needs to end. We're done. I'm done exiting. Let's go. Safe mode. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause sometimes you can connect with someone and it's like I know you from my past. You know what I mean? Like there's something in the past spiritually. And when you were talking about that, and I'm just like, you know what? People don't realize it's both ways. You can find somebody that you connected spiritually before who could have been a loved one, a family member, whatever in your past, and connect so in such a way, like you said, and know things in such a way. And then it's so surreal because the emotions and the affection is so, oh, it's like you're giving a hug to someone spiritually. You know what I mean? And or having a conversation spiritually with somebody and there's no words and it's a beautiful thing. And then when you have my instance when you recognize like, oh, they were wrong to me in the past, or they killed me, or they hurt me in
Yeah.
some way that I will never forget them. It's like, okay, thank you for showing up into my life. Now, good day. Is that have you
Yeah.
happened on the other scale as well?
Yeah, I mean I'm not I'm all about like positive, like and knowing that intuition is more like you're, being guided in a positive way. But I have had people enter my life that I know were kind of like satisfying karmic debt to me from like villain roles that they've played either in this lifetime or past lifetimes. So
Uh-huh.
definitely, I think there can be like this karmic debt relationship that people have to go in and fix if they, did something to us in a past life in order for them to progress, for their soul to progress.
Oh, I like that. I like the way that you put that. That's very nice. But yeah, that's true. You have to continue to look on the positive things, but you can't be blindsided by the reality of what's there. You
Oh
know what
no,
I
yeah,
mean?
no, I
There's
agree.
no,
Yeah.
it's
And
like they like,
I was gonna say too, like I feel like sometimes like this can be felt when we're moving forward in a relationship, and to other people it feels like it's too fast. But when you have that instant like soul recognition, like you can't put on the brakes. Like it just you have to let that take its course. You have to like trust into it.
yeah, that's true. You got to just lean into it and let it fall where it falls because the chances or the odds of it happening is obviously one in a million. So the
Right.
fact that your souls or something is connecting you or guiding you back to each other, it's what they say, meant to be.
Yes, yes,
Oh
yes.
my goodness. This has been such a great conversation with you. I feel like we could keep talking about this for a few more hours on end, but time is catching up to us. So, what can be some lasting words of wisdom that you can leave us off with to continue on thinking?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say if you're aligned with my energy, please follow me on Instagram. I'm super active there at the Healing Grief Guide.
Yeah.
And my website is Soul Revival. But I would just say, like, trust in what you feel and align with what you feel. Like, so many times people can discount signs and communication they're getting from their loved ones,
Mhm.
and they let their egoic mind and society kind of get in their head about it. If your instant gut reaction is that it was a sign and connection from your loved one, trust it, tap into it, and the more you trust in it and express gratitude for it, the more you will receive. And there's no timeline on grief either. I would say that too. I definitely don't think that that's talked about enough.
Yeah.
I talk a lot about duality and the ability to hold joy and grief at the same time. I think it's super important. We should never feel like we have to get over a loss. That's just not realistic. And once we take that wall down of that expectation, it's a game changer. So I think those would be
Absolutely.
my final thoughts.
I love it. I love it. You can actually work with that. There's so much to work with that. And I hope people can think about this topic in such a new light that possibly brings them back hope. You know what I mean? Possibly that you see that light at the end of the tunnel. Don't walk in it, but just see it.
Yeah.
And
And
if you guys go ahead.
I know that's like aligned with my purpose and the why of, me having such a huge loss was to help others to be able to see that light and to see the possibilities.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful thing to share with others and help others that that may be struggling with that. So if you guys want to know more, please check her out. I have her websites on my website. Just check out her beautiful photo, just bloop right there. And you have all the access that she has to offer the world so that you can continue on thinking. So with that being said, bye.